Hi, 207. So we are starting a new chapter book today. Let me just take out this. You should all have a copy of this book in your bags, so you can take this out and you can read along with me, or you can just listen as I read. So our book's title, or the name of our book, is The Absent Author. The author who wrote the book is, right there, Ron Roy. So you should have already gone over your vocabulary word. Your vocabulary word for chapter 1 is author. An author is a person whose job it is to write. So our book is about an author. And also our book has an author. So I'm going to read chapter 1 for you guys. And if there's any pictures, I'll just share them as we go. Let's get started. Chapter 1. Please, Josh, Dink said. If you come with me today, I'll owe you one. Just name it. Anything. Dink's full name was Donald David Duncan, but no one in Greenlawn ever called him that, except his mother, when she meant business. Josh Pinto grinned at his best friend. So far we've met 2 characters already. We have our main character, Dink, and his best friend, Josh. There they are, Dink and Josh. Anything? He raised his mischievous green eyes towards the ceiling of Dink's bedroom. Let's see. What do we have that I want? He scratched his head. I know, I'll take Loretta. Dink tossed a pillow at Josh. When I said anything, I meant anything but my guinea pig. If you look really close, you can see his guinea pig in his cage. I meant anything but my guinea pig. Are you coming with me or not? I have to be at the book nook in 15 minutes. Dink rushed into the bathroom, tucking his shirt into his jeans. At the same time, Josh followed him. Standing in front of the mirror, Dink yanked a brush through his thick blonde hair. Well, he asked, are you coming with me? What's so important about this writer guy? Josh asked, sitting on the edge of the bathtub. Dink turned around and pointed his hairbrush. Wallace Wallace isn't just some writer guy, Josh. He's the most famous mystery writer in the world. All the kids read his books, except for you. If he's so famous, why is he coming to dinky little Greenlawn? Dink charged back into his bedroom. I told you he's coming because I invited him. I'm scared to death to meet someone so famous. I don't even know what you're supposed to say to an author. Dink dived under his bed and backed out again with his sneakers. Please come with me. Josh leaned into the bedroom doorway. Sure, I'll come. I'm just trying to make you sweat. Usually you're so calm. Dink stared at his friend. You will? Thanks. I can't believe Wallace Wallace is really coming. When I wrote, I asked him. I never thought he'd say yes. So far, our 2 characters, Dink and Josh, are going to the Book Nook, a bookstore, to meet an author, somebody who writes books, and his name is Wallace Wallace. Dink yanked his backpack out of the closet. Pack my books, okay? I'm getting Wallace Wallace to sign them all. Josh began putting Wallace Wallace books in Dink's bookshelf. Geez, how many of these do you have? Every single one he has written. Dink sat on the floor to tie his sneakers. 23 so far. You should read some of them, Josh. Josh picked out The Poisoned Pond and read the back cover. Hey, this is kind of cool. It says here that Wallace Wallace lives in a castle in Maine. Wouldn't that be neat? Dink grinned. When I'm famous, writer, you can live in my castle, Josh. No way. When I'm a famous artist, you can live in my castle down in the basement. Josh picked up Riddle in the River. What's this guy even look like? He asked. How come his picture isn't on any of these books? Yeah, I wondered about that too, Dink said. I sent him one of my school pictures and asked for a picture of him. But when I got his letter, there was no picture. He finished tying his laces. Maybe Wallace Wallace just doesn't like having his picture taken. Josh squeezed all 23 books into Dink's backpack. He grinned. Or maybe he's just ugly. Dink laughed. Geez, Josh, you're ugly and you love having your picture taken. Ha ha, Josh picked up his drawing pad. But just because you're my best friend, I'll draw his picture at the bookstore. Dink looked at his watch. Yikes, he said. We have to go pick up Ruth Rose. He tore into the bathroom and started brushing his teeth. How did you get her to come? Josh asked. Dink rushed back into his room, wiping his toothpaste from his mouth. Are you kidding? Ruth Rose loves Wallace Wallace books. Dink slung his backpack over his shoulder, and he and Josh hurried next door to 24 Woody Street. Tiger, Ruth Rose's orange cat, was sitting in the sun on the steps. Dink pressed the doorbell. Ruth Rose showed up at the door. As usual, she was dressed all in one color. Today, it was purple. She had a purple shirt with purple overalls and purple running shoes. A purple baseball cap kept her black curls out of her face. Hey, she said. So here we've met a new character. So here we have Dink. You see him carrying his backpack with all of his books. We have Josh. He's carrying his notebook because he likes to draw. And Ruth. She's the newest character. She likes to dress all in one color. And they're all headed to the Book Nook, which is a bookstore, to meet Wallace Wallace, an author. Then she turned around and screamed in the house, The guys are here, Mom! I'm leaving! Dink and Josh covered their ears. Oh, geez, Ruth, Josh said. I didn't know what's louder, your outfit or your voice. Ruth Rose smiled sweetly at Josh. I can't wait to meet Wallace Wallace. I want him to sign my books, she said. She held up a copy of The Phantom in the Pharmacy. I wonder if Wallace Wallace will read from his new book he's working on, Dink said. What's the title? Ruth Rose asked. They headed towards the Book Nook. I don't know, said Dink. But he wrote in his letter that he's doing some of the research while he's here in Connecticut. Dink pulled the letter out of his pocket and read it aloud while they walked. Dear Mr. Duncan, thank you for your kind letter. I am so impressed that you've read all of my books. I have good news. I've made arrangements to come to the Book Nook to sign books. I can use part of my time for research. Thank you for your picture. I'm so happy to finally meet one of my most loyal fans. Short of being kidnapped, nothing will stop me from coming. See you soon, Wallace Wallace. So this is the letter that Wallace Wallace wrote back to Dink. The letter was signed Wallace Wallace in big loopy letters. Dink grinned. Pretty neat, huh? Pretty neat, Mr. Dinkin, teased Josh. You should have that letter framed, Ruth Rose said. Great idea, Dink said. They passed Howard's bookshop. Howard waved through the window as they hurried, or barber shop. Howard waved through the window as they hurried on by. Come on, Dink urged as he dragged his friends down the street to the book nook. They looked through the window, out of breath. The bookstore was crowded with kids. The book nook's owner, Mr. Paskey, has set up folding chairs. Dink noticed that most of them were already taken. Dink saw Mr. Paskey sitting behind the table. A big white sign on the table said, "Welcome, Wallace Wallace." But the chair behind the sign was empty. Dink gulped and stared at the empty seat. Where was Wallace Wallace? That is the end of chapter 1. So far, we've met our 3 main characters. Here they are on the front. We have Dink, Ruth Rose, and Josh. They're all headed to the Book Nook, which is the bookstore, because they want to meet the author, Wallace Wallace. But when they get there, he's nowhere to be found. Where do you think Wallace Wallace is?